Now, which leads us to the Boston Celtics and the decision they got to make this summer. Man, all right. So Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both made All NBA, and now Jaylen Brown is eligible for the not just the max, the super max, which is a difference between about 100 million. So now he can sign a $295 million contract, and I think that's just for 4 years. Right? That's ridiculous. That's a lot of money, right? Especially for a number two. Um, Hopefully Jaylen Brown don't feel obligated to ask for that whole supermax. Hopefully he can leave some money on the table. He don't need, I mean, 295. Good Lord. Like save some money to sign some help, right? Because y'all obviously need it. Yeah, y'all need a third guy. Right. I like the fact that you have a big two, but Jaylen Brown's not a superstar. Right. So and Jason Tatum is, you know, he shows you superstar and then he shows you all-star. It's like he goes in and out of what he want to be. You know, do he want to be I don't know, do he want to be Pippen, or does he want to be Middleton? You get what I'm saying? It's a difference between Pippen and Middleton, what he is, man. So man, it's a tough decision for Boston. I don't know if they offer him the full 295. We'll see what they offer him, and we'll see what Jaylen Brown end up accepting. But everyone that's saying that you have to get rid of him, you have to break them up because they lost in the conference finals, I don't think so. Right? Like you got two All NBA players. You know, it's only 3 All NBA teams, so that's 15 players. So you got arguably 2 of the best 15 players in the league. And they both wings, and they're both under the age of 26. And they both durable and don't get hurt that often. Right? So neither one of them had those major injuries like Kawhi and Paul George. You get what I'm saying? And look how they keep getting hurt. Like they pretty much got the same thing. They got 2 wings that are both really good two-way players who both can get to the basket, both got good size on them, and they both can shoot the ball. They got the same thing. Kawhi and Paul George in LA is the same thing as Tatum and Brown in Boston. You got the same thing, right? So breaking it up, I don't see add a third piece. And explain that to Jaylen Brown. Look, we go. I mean, we need you to leave a little money on the table so we can get y'all some help. Maybe we can go get Brook Lopez. He's a free agent. Let's bring Brook in. Right, let's get big at the rim. You know, that'd be big. Bringing Brook Lopez is other great free agents out there. You know what I mean? So they got a lot that they can do. But signing Jaylen Brown is going to be important. But if they do trade him, I mean, in a I don't know, hypothetical, if Portland would want to come off of Dame, maybe Dame and Tatum look different than Brown and Tatum. You know, you lose a little something on defense, you get a little smaller. And then of course you're probably going to have to do something different with Marcus Smart if you got Dame. You know, I mean, is that a need for Marcus at that time? I mean, you still got White and Brogdon, right? And Smart's making a pretty penny too. So if you make a trade like that, yeah, we give Brown and Smart up, give us Dame, right? Yeah, if something like that is available, then yeah, maybe you can sign and trade Brown. Maybe you can, but other than that, if you're not getting a player like that, if you're not getting Dame, or you're not getting, I don't know, maybe you can get someone that can do the same thing as Brown, but that's a lot cheaper. We don't know if Siakam is available. Maybe that might be a little different. You know, Anunoby, I don't know. You know, things like that. I mean, it's some options out there, but I wouldn't panic. I would be trying to sign them and see if I can get them for less than that supermax. And if I can, I keep them, and I just try to build around them. So I think that's the That's the way forward for Boston. Now, the other thing I say about this is this Joe Mazzulla situation, because I mean, I just read a report that the coaching staff that was under Udoka in Boston are all leaving this summer and going to go to join Udoka in Houston. And that tells me a couple of things. It tells me, one, whatever Udoka did that got him suspended from Boston, his coaching staff did not think it was that egregious, because if they did, they wouldn't be trying to go back and work for him in Houston, right? That's number one. Number two is either Joe Mazzulla or the Boston front office has turned them off to where I would rather leave than stay here and work. So maybe the treatment on how they treated Udoka maybe turned those coaches off and they want out. Or maybe coaching under Mazzulla was not pleasant, and maybe that's why they want out, right? All we keep hearing is Jaylen Brown say things about this Boston fan base and how racist they are, right? So how you're just being frank, right? And Jaylen Brown said that, and I can't unhear that, and I can't unhear other players that have said the same thing. But all that stuff just interesting, Mazzulla supposedly is safe. His job is safe. But his coaching staff is leaving to go with Udoka, so that's just something I'm gonna keep my eye out on. Maybe some more stuff will leak out, some more truth will leak out, because we still don't know exactly why is it so bad what Udoka did. We know he had a relationship with a staffer that was consensual. There was no force, anything involved, and I'm not buying that quid pro quo that she worked for him and she felt like she had to do it, right? I'm not buying that, because she's not a coach, right? So working for him, no, she wasn't working for him. She worked for the organization, but the coach doesn't run the organization. He runs the team. And if she's not a coach on the coaching staff or anything like that, I just don't see how you could say she works for Udoka. I don't see it. So it wasn't a quid pro quo situation. And I just don't understand how they handled it that way. But evidently those coaches don't think what he did was that bad, because they're going back